Hello there, everyone. My name is Crazy Caleb, and today we're going to be taking a look at 8 tiles panic. So this is what's happening on the module. We have a series of 8 different tiles with a potential of 5 different items being on them, uh, with the potential of there being, of course, 2 different items on them. We have an alien, which is right here in the bottom left. We have a laser gun, which is here in the middle left right here. The hamburger in the bottom middle here. A cat, as you would expect, it looks like a cat, and a person looks like a person. They're frowning, they don't look happy, and obviously there's a lot going on in this module. So let's figure out exactly what needs to happen, because this little chart right here, this little table, might look a little confusing at first, and it might look a little overwhelming, quite frankly. So there's an alien invasion going on in the neighborhood. To solve the module, we're going to tap or hold 5 tiles in the correct order based on the chaos in the streets. So what we're going to do is we need to figure out, the first thing we need to do is we need to figure out the main street out of all of these tiles here. And the main street is going to be the 5 tiles that we focus on. So we're going to figure out the course of the main street in the grid below. We're going to start at the arrow with the same number as the last digit of the serial number. So let's get that right here. So the last digit of the serial number is a 3. So that's going to be a 3. So we're going to find the arrow that has a 3 in it. And this is going to be where we're going to start, is we're going to start from this arrow and we're going to go into this first tile right here. So we're going to move through the grid by crossing the borders labeled with this starting number. So we're always going to cross borders with the letter 3. So we're going to start at the third position, at the position with the number 3 here, over at this arrow down here, and we're going to move through the grid by crossing the borders with that same number of 3 right here. So let's figure out what we're going to do here. So what we're going to do is I'm going to start at the bottom right, as in this case. So bottom right is where we're going to start. That'll be our first tile that we'll go to. So bottom right. Then the border of 3 goes over to bottom middle right down here. That's the next tile that we go to because that's where the border is at. Then next up, we're going to go up to dead center right here. So middle, because that's where the 3 is at. That's where the border goes to. Then next up, we're going to go to the 3 over here, which takes us to middle left. And then from middle left, we're going to go down right here to the bottom left. So we started at the 3 over. We started at the arrow with the 3, and we followed that 3 throughout each of the borders, leading us to the bottom left, which leads us to the exit, as you would expect. So what's going to happen here is the traced path is the main street. So these guys that we have together, so we have the bottom right, bottom middle, middle left, and bottom left. This is referred to as the main street right here. And it will always pass through 5 tiles. This is what's happening here. So tiles that are not part of the main street are considered side streets. So this is only considered for the middle right, the top middle, and the top left. Considering that there are 5 tiles that we've chosen and there are 8 present on the module, that leaves us with these 3 up here. But the main street is going to be the ones that I'm highlighting on the module right now. And that's what we're going to do for each of these tiles. Is we're going to look at these conditions down here at the bottom and determine whether we are going to simply tap them or hold them based off a series of conditions. Let's get into this. So, starting at the arrow, going tile by tile along the main street, decide if the tile should be held down or tapped. And what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at the objects that are present on the tile. There will be at most 2 of them, and these X's refers to what is present. So, the present on the tile with the letter that corresponds to each of these things. A is for alien, L is for laser gun, uh, H is for hamburger, C is for cat, and P is for person. That's what those mean. So we need to figure out what's on each of these tiles. So for our first one, we visit the bottom right for the first one, and the bottom right has the laser and the cat. Laser and the cat right here. So these 2 guys will be present, and we're going to look at the condition with that column, with that row that has those two X's in those positions. And that condition is going to correspond to there are less than 3 batteries on the bomb. So uh, if the condition is true, hold the respective tile and release it immediately after hearing a zap sound. You'll understand what I mean by when we get into one of those examples here. If the condition is false, that is simply regarded as a tap. Press and immediately release the tile. And pressing a tile out of order, pressing an already correctly pressed tile, or incorrectly holding/tapping a tile will result in a strike. So just keep that in mind. So our first condition is going to be there are less than 3 batteries on the bomb. That is objectively false because we have 5 batteries present on the bomb, and that is just not true. So if the rule was false, that is considered as a tap. So for the first one, for bottom right, we're going to be doing a tap right here. Next up, we move to bottom middle. Bottom middle just has the hamburger, so that is going to be on its own. So the hamburger on its own right here is going to be, there are at least 2 people present on the module, 2 persons. So that is definitely true. We have 4 people present right here. And it isn't regarding the main street. There are some rules that differentiate between main street or side streets. However, if it doesn't specify, that means it's anywhere on the module, as it says here on the module, which it is true. So that is going to be a hold, because if it's true, hold the respective tile. So we're going to hold bottom middle. Next up, middle is just a person. Person is going to be this rightmost column here, and this is the single X. This row is just the person row. And the condition for this, there is at least one gun present on the main street. The gun is obviously referring to laser gun. And taking a look, bottom right has a laser gun immediately, as well as middle left, because those parts were on the main street itself, and that is indeed true. There is at least one gun present on the main street. The condition is true. We're going to hold that tile. Next up, middle left is just the laser gun. The laser gun is going to be right here. There is a street with at least one alien, but no cat present. So the main street is there is a street with at least one alien and no cat present. And what this means is that tiles that are not part of the main street are considered side streets. If two or more of them are considered orthogonally adjacent to each other, they connect to a single side street. So, for example, it would be these two would be connected together to make a single side street. However, this is the main street that we're looking at. There is a street with at least one alien, but no cat present. So, taking a look here, we have the main street itself, which does have an alien. It's the only alien on the module. However, the cat is indeed present on the same street. It is present in the bottom right here, and the main street is all connected into one street. So this rule is actually not true, because there is at least one alien present, but there is a cat present on that same street. So this is where a couple of these rules are very important, that you make sure that you understand how the streets work. Um, if there are side streets that are orthogonally adjacent, they combine into one. However, the main street itself is always considered one street. These tiles will always be considered one street for right now. And this was a false statement, so this is going to be a tap. So we're going to tap middle left. And lastly, bottom left. Bottom left has an alien and a person in it. Alien and person right here. And there is a street with both an alien and a gun present. The main street itself, again, happens to be the exact same case. There is an alien and a gun present right here as well. So this means that this rule is true. So that's going to be a hold for bottom left. So now that we've determined the conditions, the taps or the holds for each of these positions here, let's input them into the module. They have to be inputted into the correct order, because these are the streets that we visit. You can't be like, oh, let's go bottom right, and then let's go middle left, and then let's go bottom middle, so on and so forth. You have to do them in the exact order of which you go through them. So let's do bottom right as a tap, and it marks up as green if that's correct. Next up, bottom middle is a hold. Now we're going to hear a zap sound, so let's listen to that. That's good. Next up, middle is a hold. Okay. Then middle left is a tap. That's good so far. Now let's say if I happen to mess something up along the way. You see these tiles are green? Let's say if I tap this guy up here. It doesn't reset itself. It just simply gives you a strike, and you happen to just be wrong. And now finally, bottom left. Bottom left should be a hold, so of the module. And just like that, is a solved module. Let's take a look at a couple more examples. This module itself is very interesting with some of the rules, but it's important that you understand how the main street works and how the side streets work, because the main street is, some of these rules can be a little tricky, like there's at least one gun present on the main street. There's a street with at least one alien but no cat present. Some of those you have to understand how the street systems actually work. So just be careful with that. So let's begin at our last digit of the serial number. So our last digit of the serial number happens to be a 3 again. We're going to look at the exact same path, which is going to be bottom right. The border goes over to bottom middle. Then 3 goes over to middle. So this is the exact same pattern. Then 3 goes over to middle left. Then 3 goes down to bottom left. So let's get into this. So the bottom right is the first one that we're going to be looking at. The bottom right is the alien and the person. Alien and person, we've had this condition before. There is a street with both an alien and a gun present. There actually is no gun at all. So this rule is already false because of the fact there is no laser gun actually present on the module. So this rule is false. That is going to be a tap for the bottom right. Next up, bottom middle. Bottom middle actually has nothing on it, so none of these guys will be present on the module. So this will be this bottom condition. Now, the condition for this one actually is the module isn't solved. Now, if you happen to notice, this module will never be solved until we go through all 5 of these inputs. And what this means is that the module isn't solved. This rule will always automatically be true. So the empty tiles will always be a hold. That is one thing that you can tell because of the fact that the module isn't solved. Empty tiles will always be holds, so just keep that in mind. Next up, hamburger in person, hamburger in person, hamburger in person right here. There is an indicator labeled Bob on the bomb. Now, it doesn't mention the status at all, but there is no Bob presence. That's not true. If it's not true, it is a tap. Tap is going to be middle. Next up is just hamburger in the middle left. Hamburger in the middle left is going to be right here. There are at least 2 people present on the module. That is true. We have 3 people present right here. Up in the top middle, middle, and bottom right. This condition is a true, so this is going to be a hold. For middle left. And lastly, the last one that we're going to be looking at is the hamburger and the cat. There are more hamburgers than aliens present on the module. So right here, taking a look, we have 3 hamburgers and we have 3 aliens. They are the exact same. So this rule is actually false because of the fact that there are not more hamburgers than aliens. They are the exact same. So this condition is going to be false. So it is going to be a tap. So let's get this module going. So we have a tap in the bottom right. We have a bottom middle is a hold. That's good. Middle is a tap. Middle left is a hold. That's good. Bottom left is a tap. And the module solves. Let's take a look at one final example. Let's hope we can get a little bit of a different sequence here. So let's see, our last digit of the serial number is a 4. Already this is going to be different. So at the 4, we're beginning at this top right here. So we're beginning at the top. And now it's going to be, our sequence is going to be top left for the main street. Then we're going to follow the 4 on the edges here. 4 takes us down to the middle left. Takes us down to the middle left. Then 4 takes us down. Then 4 takes us to the right to middle. Then 4 takes us down to bottom middle. Then 4 from bottom middle takes us right to bottom right, which takes us finally to the end of the module. As you can see, the 4 goes off to the side, and just like that, your work here is done. So let's start at top left, and let's go through these couple conditions. So let's go top left. Top left is just the cat by itself. And the condition for this one is there are more cats than people present on the module. There are more cats than people. So we have 1, 2, 3 cats, and we have 3 people. So this is not true. There are not more cats than people. There are simply the exact same amount. The rule is false. That is going to be a tap. Next up, middle left. Middle left is a person hamburger. Person hamburger is going to be the Bob indicator on the bomb. Is there a Bob indicator at all? There is not. So that is going to be another tap. Next up, middle is going to be laser cat. Laser cat is going to be, where is it? Right here. There are less than 3 batteries in the bomb. There is not. There are 4 batteries present. That's not less than 3. So that is going to be false. So that is a tap. Bottom middle is the alien cat. Alien cat is going to be right here. There is no gun present on any side street. Now taking a look, we did not visit middle right here, so there is a gun actually present on the side street. So that is going to be false. So that is going to be a tap. And lastly, for bottom right is going to be alien in person. Alien in person. There is a street with both an alien and a gun present. Now, automatically taking a look, we have our main street, top left, middle, bottom middle, and bottom right. Middle has a gun, bottom middle has an alien in it. So there is a street indeed with both an alien and a gun present. You cannot use the side streets because these guys are not adjacent with each other. You can't use top middle and middle right. Those guys are not orthogonally adjacent to each other. So this would not apply. But since we're using the main street does indeed give us that ability to get the alien and gun. So this rule is true. So this is going to be a hold for bottom right. So now let's simply do this. So top left is a tap. Middle left is a tap. Middle is a tap. bottom middle is a tap, and then bottom right is a hold, waiting for the zap sound. And just like that is a solved module. As always, thank you guys for watching. Remember to stay crazy, stay cool, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.